Your attention, masters, mistresses. All systems functional for the Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, this is Rich McDonald, and I play Commander David Mason on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And you're listening to Everything Geek podcast.
It's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Plo Koon in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to Everything Geek, the podcast.
Hey, it's Leif Gamfert. I played Uncle Ben's killer in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast.
Hello, I'm Simon Fisherbecker. You probably know me better as Dorian Moldovar from Doctor Who, or the Fat Friar from Harry Potter. And this is Everything Geek podcast.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot with the Everything Geek podcast.
You're listening to the Everything Geek podcast, bringing you interviews from your favorite films and TV shows every week, and all of the latest news. Here's your host, Ruari Williamson.
Hello everyone, you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast. I'm your host, Ruari, and joining me today is a very special guest. We have stuntman Geo Corvera, who played Francis Noche in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and was a stunt performer on Ant-Man, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Chicago Fire, Zero Dark 30, and the CSI crime scene investigation video game, utility stunts on Iron Man, stunt pirates on Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, and stunts on Sons of Anarchy and Eragon. Geo, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? I'm good. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to have you join us on the podcast today.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm excited.
Great, I can tell.
Yeah.
So getting right into my questions for you, Gio. My first question is, how did you decide you wanted to become a stuntman?
Well, as a kid, I grew up watching, martial art movies like Bruce Lee and like Ninja Turtles, and I was always like mocking them, I'm in the living room, throwing punches and kicks, sometimes kicking the furniture. My parents, used to get upset, so they put me in martial arts, and once I started doing that, I just kind of always wanted to be on TV. I never knew how, but I was like, one day I want to be doing Bruce Lee movies, Ninja Turtle movies kind of thing. And then, when I got a little bit older, I had a friend of mine move to Los Angeles, because I grew up in Washington, D.C., and my friend moved out to Los Angeles, and he told me about, the movie business, and because I had zero clue about it, and even stunts, I always thought that actors did their own stunts. So he told me about stunts, and I moved out to L.A. and tried to pursue, the whole movie business. And the first year I was an extra on a lot of projects, like a background. And so it took me about a year to get my SAG card, the Screen Actors Guild, to be able to work on like the big project movies. And I heard about a movie they were having an audition for, and they were looking for short guys that could do martial arts. And I was like, oh, that's me. I'm short. I can do martial arts, So I went out there, and I ended up booking, and it happened to be a movie called The Rundown with The Rock, the wrestler Dwayne Johnson. And after that, I just felt like, oh, this is me. I want to do this. And 15 years, now I've been blessed and lucky to have worked in a lot of huge projects, like some of the ones that you mentioned, and got to work with, with a lot of, A-list actors and just awesome, very talented celebrities out there.
Yeah, it's really interesting, a really great story, and it's really interesting as well because, there are many ways having martial arts skills can be useful, but the way you're able to bring that to your stunt work is very interesting to hear about.
Yeah. And either it was going to be, continue like fighting, because I grew up competing, martial arts competitions and get in the ring and fighting. And that's cool and fun, but after a while it hurts, so like with stunts, I can still do the same stuff and it's a little safer, it's fake fighting or, it still hurts depending on the stunt that you're doing, but it's a little less than when you're actually in the ring,
Definitely. Moving on to my second question, how were you initially cast as Francis in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D?
Actually, yeah, it's kind of funny. I just actually finished doing Ant-Man in Atlanta, and I just came back, and it was at the end of the year. It was like December of not last year, but the year before, and my agent calls me and she goes, "Hey, I want you to go read for this TV show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D." I was like, "Oh, okay." I just kind of got back, like I said, from doing Ant-Man. I was, kind of like trying to get ready for the holidays. So I said, "Okay, I'll go out for the audition. And I went out there, and it was actually kind of funny because they had me read something totally different than what my character was. Like what they had me read was like it was more like a serial killer kind of character. So I just went out there for the audition. Just kind of try to look all crazy and just psycho looking kind of look, and I walked into the casting agent, and even like the casting people were looking at me like, "Who is this guy? Because he looks crazy. And so so I think that kind of like I guess I stood out, or they loved my look, so I ended up booking the role. And I'm totally excited and that I booked it, that I got it. I mean, it's an awesome experience. So it was from an audition.
It's very interesting indeed. Moving on to my third question, how does it feel knowing that you got to play a supervillain in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D?
I mean, first of all, it's an awesome job to be a great feeling. I mean, to be on the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a big popular show. But any kind of like superhero or any kind of like hero kind of characters, they're always like fun or awesome to try to play, because as a kid, you grow up watching or reading the comic books, and you pretend like, "Oh, I'm Superman, or I'm Spider-Man, or I'm Iron Man," and you pretend like you're one of these, and then I actually get to be now like a superhero kind of thing, or even it's a villain, but and my character, his power is like that he's strong. And that's my thing, like, I feel strong, and I'm a superhero kind of thing. So as a villain, but it's just a great feeling. I mean, it's like a child's dream kind of thing. So, and I'm experiencing it for real.
Yeah, definitely. I think I can definitely, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners can definitely agree with where you're coming from, where a lot of us would have pictured ourselves as certain superheroes when we were younger.
You remember, like, even doing the Superman thing, you put the towel, around your neck, around the living room with I don't know if you ever did that. I used to do that, jump off the couch. My mom is yelling at me, "Get off the couch." I'm like, "I'm Superman."
Yeah. We've all been there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Moving on to my fourth question. As well as playing Francis, you have another Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. credit as a stunt performer on the episode 084. What do you recall from working on this episode, if anything?
The scene was it was like a military scene. I think the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had gone down to South America, and I think they were looking for someone. And I played one of the military guys. I got to do some driving in it, and then like shooting guns and things like that. So I played a stuntman military guy.
It's very interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for you in that episode when I rewatch it next.
Yeah.
Has been quite a while since I've watched that episode.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, that was like 2.5 years ago or something.
Yeah. I'm very sure it must have been one of the first episodes of the show.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
And you've kind of touched up on already, but I'll touch up on it some more in my fifth question. You've worked on a couple of Marvel films, working as a stunt performer on Ant-Man and utility stunts on Iron Man. What do you remember from working on both of these films?
Yeah, as a stunt performer, you always kind of, unless you're doubling like a lead actor, you're always playing like the bad guys. So on Iron Man, we're part of when Iron Man first made the suit in the cave, and he gets into a fight with a couple guys inside the cave, and then he comes out of the cave and he's just like shooting fire at everybody. Again, I was part of the military group that goes after him. We're shooting guns at him. He's shooting fire at us. We were like the first guys like to get beat up and killed in the first movie when he first built the suit. So yeah, a lot of shooting guns and getting shot and explosions going everywhere, people flying everywhere, that kind of stuff is what I had to do on Iron Man. And then, same thing, on Ant-Man. We did a fight piece with Ant-Man, which actually it didn't make it in the movie. But we got to fight him, and he's just punching and kicking everybody, and we're just like on wires flying everywhere. It was definitely fun. But it sucks that it got cut out though. But it was a fun movie. It was good too. I liked it. It was a little different. It was more comedy. I don't know if you saw, but
no, I've seen it.
Fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a pity that your part in it got cut out though. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And you never know, man. Like I said, I was out there, with any project, sometimes maybe it doesn't attach to the movie or makes it too long or something, so they end up cutting stuff out. I mean, we were out there for about a month shooting this fight piece with him, and it just all got cut out. It was like explosions, people flying everywhere, people getting punched and kicked, and they're flying in the air. But yeah, it got cut out. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, but that's really interesting that you got to be in that Iron Man scene you mentioned from the first film with the suit and all, because that is such a really great scene as well, and very iconic now, given Iron Man was the first movie from the cinematic universe. It's really interesting that you were involved in that scene. Again, somewhere I'll have to keep an eye out for you.
Yeah. Everything's like, at least, well, now, with the acting parts, I'm starting to get a longer, time on the screen. But with stunts, a lot of times, like I said, the fights are so quick that, you get beat up or you get shot or something. So honestly, they're like seconds sometimes. So if you don't have a VCR and a pause button, sometimes you'll miss certain things, you know.
Like blinking, you'll miss at moments, really.
Yeah. It's just kind of funny. It just reminded me, I have a friend of mine. I just got done. Not done, but we did it last year. And it came out. Sicario. I worked on that movie Sicario with Emily Blunt and Benicio del Toro, and I'm in the opening scene of the movie, and where the SWAT team comes kicking the door down and they're shooting everybody, and I'm one of the guys, and seriously, I shoot at Emily Blunt, and then of course she shoots me and I get shot. And my friend was telling me, hey, I went to the movie theater and saw Sicario, but I didn't see you. You said you were in that scene. I didn't see you. Said it was the opening scene. He's like, oh man, I was 5 minutes late. I said, yeah, you missed it then. Like, I was in the first 2 minutes. So, yeah, yeah, you blink, you miss it.
Yeah, that's just what happens. Like, you think it doesn't matter if I show up 5 minutes late or not, and then you miss something really important. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
it's funny.
Really
cool,
unfortunate.
Though.
Yeah. I hope your friend has at least, been able to rectify that and see it from the start.
Yeah. Well, now, the DVD's out, so yeah, we got to see it. So.
That's good. That's good to hear, at least. So, moving on to my next question. What has been your favorite project to work on in your career, and why?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I've been in the business for 15 years, and like I said, I've been lucky and blessed to have worked in a lot of huge projects, and they're all, honestly, I had a great time, and all of them, depending on the cast, was awesome. Some of them have been in different states, in different countries. So the experience to be out there in new places, that's a great thing also. When I went to Hungary, we shot the movie Eragon about the dragon. I mean, that's the first time I have ever gone out there. We had 13 different countries working on this movie, so I was making friends from Canadians to Japanese to French stuntman, German stuntman. I mean, just that experience right there. And even though that movie was like 10 years ago, I still stay in touch with these people. So, like, to me, I love that movie because I got to meet and make some great friends, you know. And then, of course, like, funny stuff, like I worked on Pirates of the Caribbean 3, and I had an incident where I ended up losing my car. And one night that we all had gone out, and my friends were teasing me, they ended up making posters of me, because what happened was I lost my car. And I thought that I lost my car, but actually I just forgot where I parked it, you know. So I called the police, and I told them that my car had been stolen, when really I just forgot where I parked it. So when the police came, I remember where my car was. So it was like this big joke, you know. So my friends made posters of it. They took a picture of me, and they took a picture of my car, and they made posters, and it said, "Dude, where's my car?" You know. So the next day I went back to set, and they had hundreds of posters all over set with my picture on it, a picture of my car, and it said, "Dude, where's my car?" So all day I was listening like, "Geo, did you find your car yet?" Or, "Geo, we found your car out there." You know, it was like everyone kept making fun of me, but it was fun, you know. So that I still remember, that's one of my memories from that. So they'll have kind of like little stories, and so honestly, I had a great time in all the projects. I'm just thankful to been part of them.
Yeah, it's definitely really great to hear that you have had a great experience on all of them, and you know, as you said, you got to do a lot of traveling, which is also great because you got to experience a lot of new places.
Yeah.
Though of course, I'm sure the whole car thing is something you wouldn't want to experience again.
Nah, not at all.
No, that is really funny though.
Yeah, it is funny.
Yeah. So moving on to my final question for you, Geo, do you have any upcoming stunt roles or any other projects you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I'm actually I have a couple things coming up. I'm actually putting my own project together. I have two coming up. They're short films that I'm going to be putting in film festivals. One is called The Latin Dragon, which is me, you know, and in the story, my daughter gets kidnapped, and you know, I go after the bad guys and try to save my daughter. And then I also have an action thriller kind of short film that I just finished writing the script for, that we're going to shoot also this year and put in film festivals and see how it does. I'm also starting doing acting and stunts in a feature called A Zombie Named Ted, which is going to be filming within the next month or so. So right now we're just starting, just do the table readings and just prepping up for it. But those are a couple of projects that are coming up. My own two short films, and then a feature called The Zombie Named Ted.
Yeah, it's really interesting, so I'll be sure to keep an eye out for all of those projects then. So that's all of our questions for you today, Geo. It's been a pleasure talking to you on the podcast.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love doing this kind of stuff. It's great, you know, to share my experiences and how it's worked for me and how I love this business, you know, with everybody.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully we can talk to you again at some point.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, you know, I'm gonna keep working hard and trying to put up projects out there and keep working, and so, you know, build my name. And of course, it'd be a pleasure to come back and talk to you guys.
Definitely. So I'll talk to you again soon then. Bye, and thanks again for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Make sure to check out our podcast links, check out our website.everythinggeekpodcast.com/EGP. Check out our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekpodcast. Check out our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/user/everythinggeekcast. Check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/everythinggeekp. Check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/official everythinggeekpodcast. Check out our Mixcloud profile, www.mixcloud.com/everythinggeekpodcast. Email us at the below email, everythinggeekpodcast@gmail.com. Check out our companion podcast, Everything Geek Comiccast, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekcomiccast. Make sure to check out the hosts' YouTube channels. Mine is www.youtube.com/user/separatist-destroyers. Check out Geo Corvera on Twitter, twitter.com/Geo Corvera, and check out Channel 1 and Fairway Broadcast Live from www.channel1andfairway.com. So geeks out, everyone.
Took with prosthetics every day. It took 2 hours, and then they CGI'd it afterwards. They were tiny little pinpricks, tiny, so I could see pretty much out of focus.
In the third game of the season, and lost all my scholarships, and was at that point starting to consider other paths, and I had already been accepted to the University of Texas to go to business school, so I